Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Behind the Sold Sign podcast.
Yay.
I almost said sold scene. Okay, fuck. 1, 2, 3. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode 3 of Behind the Sold Sign podcast with your host, Justin Saunier, and my colleague,
Sheila Kirkpatrick.
We're so excited to be back again. So thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to get into some intriguing topics. Number one, and I feel like this is a good topic to kind of get into with where the market is right now. And this being a lot of home sellers are wondering what home improvement should they be doing to their home before listing their home on the market. This is something you and I have recently spoke about, is a lot of people are advising potential clients to renovate their kitchens, their bathrooms, to help bring up that aesthetic approach. But you and I know that is not necessarily always the best course of action for multiple reasons.
Yeah, you're always going to have the items that people are going to talk about. Paint's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually a great return on investment, but you always hear kitchens and baths sell homes, and they do. But the reality is that we are not in a traditional market. We are in a unique position as sellers where I call it the most forgiving market that I've ever worked in. So my recommendations have changed a lot in the last couple of years when it comes to selling.
But even you just saying that is something that I feel people need to understand. The market, the real estate market, always has ebbs and flows. So there are always going to be different areas where you need to focus your attention based off of what kind of market we are in.
Yes, absolutely.
So currently we're seeing more of a seller's market, which means the market is more favorable to the sellers.
Yes.
Which means sometimes you can get away with a lot more because it is the most forgiving market we have experienced.
Absolutely. And that's the key. So a lot of times we get these questions where we're talking to past clients or to people that we know, and they're asking us, okay, so I want to sell my house, but I want to do some work to it. And when they contact us, they're actually already in the process of contacting handyman, handy women, things that they want to get done. And I always say, whoa, let's put a hold on that. First action first. I need to come out and take a look at the house, because where you're thinking about investing your money might not bring your bottom line up. I'm always looking at what advice can I give you so that you can have more money in your pocket, sell your house faster. Those are the types of items. First off, let's get out there, take a look at your house, and then see what it is that we need to do.
And that is so important because you are so right. People are investing way too much time and energy into things that sometimes don't even need your attention, time, or energy. Based off the market stats, the trends, everything, if there is no profit to be earned, why are we incorporating all of this stress, time, and money
Absolutely.
for something that in the end is not going to bring you out on top?
Yeah. And what I'm finding is that a lot of times I am telling people to not do work that I would have told them in the past that I felt was necessity to increase their bottom line. So I'm finding that homeowners are saving more money by actually not doing could be even half of the work that they were thinking about. We always want to make sure that the house looks clean, but we don't need to fill every hole. We don't need to replace every piece of trim. There are things that we don't need to replace kitchens and bathrooms. We need to freshen them up. We need to make them look better. But we do not need to put the money in that we used to do things.
Yes, presentation is important regardless of the condition. Your home still needs to have a good presence. It needs to be maintained and clean so that people walking through, yes, there might be repairs that need to be done, but they're still looking through, they're envisioning their life, they're envisioning what it will look like when they make it their home. And that's all we need in a strong market.
It's interesting because in the past, I've seen markets where I've said to people, knowing their skill set, everyone has a different skill set. But I remember having a client where I told them, okay, change out your countertop, paint your kitchen cabinets. And again, they painted them themselves. Paint your kitchen cabinets, change out your countertop, and I believe I can get you $10,000 more than what I would have gotten you before. So your $1,000 investment is bringing that money back. That is a good investment. But putting in a new kitchen or a new bath and not getting that money back is not a good investment. When you can, in this type of market, take advantage of what's going on and just get your house on the market and in the multiple offer situation.
1,000%. So if you are out there considering what renovations do you need to have done before you do really take your home onto the market, get a professional in there first, because the chances are your home might be ready to get listed as is.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other topics, and I wouldn't say that we get asked this question a lot, but I feel that it's an important part for the buyer to know right now. And again, this would put you in a good position if you're buying a home, is talking about the escalation clause.
And this was something we saw a lot of during last year, the peak of last year's market in the spring, when things were getting very,
a lot
very
in
aggressive.
2023.
Yep.
And if the market is competitive again and holding strong this year, we are going to continue to see that. So it's really important as a buyer to understand the things that you can do to make your offer more attractive. So when it comes to an escalation clause is a strategic provision that you would put in the contract in a multiple offer situation. And we will go through those steps for you to discuss how that works so that you understand now before you even get in that position.
Yes. When you use an escalation clause, you know you're getting yourself into a multiple offer scenario. That is the reason for using this clause to your advantage.
Yeah.
So you would essentially start with your base price. So this is the price that when you draft up your offer, it is the initial price that you would like to purchase the home for. The next step after that would be determining your escalation increment.
Yes.
So what is the dollar amount that you would like to increase this base price by up to a cap price?
Yeah, and one of the things that I find interesting about increments is that as an agent receiving offers that are escalation clauses, I could have 10 offers, I might get 4 that have escalation clauses in them. But when they increase the increments, a lot of times I see $1,000, $2,000. And when it comes to increments, it's important to understand or explain, us as agents explain to the buyer how the increments can be beneficial. And I actually like to use 5,000.
Well, and I was just going to say, or how they can kind of be not beneficial. When vendors are typically looking at multiple offers with escalation clauses, why am I going to, look at one that's going to just increase my price by $1,000 when I have the option of picking one that is going to increase it by $5,000 and really make that difference?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then also setting a cap amount. So you are not just paying an endless amount for this home.
And when you don't put a cap in, it makes the offer unrealistic, because we don't have endless amounts of cash. So it's so important to put a cap, because someone receiving that offer on the other end may kind of push it to the wayside because of the fact that there is no cap. And I know that I've seen that within offers I've received as well. And the vendor's like, no, I'm not interested in that. At least I know where these people are willing to pay. They've thought that number out. Whereas this one is just saying, oh, I'll pay whatever I need to pay. But what is their, unless they have the cash to buy the house, well, what is their approval? What is that option?
Being the listing agent looking out for the seller, you need to be very cautious with the offers in front of you. And you really need to understand them and know where the downfalls are.
Yeah. So first we have a base price.
Yep.
And I always like to put numbers with the scenarios.
Totally.
So let's just say, and I love to use the average sales prices that we're working with. So we know we're in around 300,000. Let's use our base price as 300,000. So then we've offered 300,000 for the house. We've wrote a clause that says we are writing an escalation clause. We will pay $5,000 over the highest bona fide offer, so legally binding offer, to a maximum amount of, let's just say in this case, $350,000. So what triggers the escalation clause?
So what triggers the escalation clause would be another higher bona fide offer that is kicking in your escalation.
Yeah. So as soon as there's another offer that gets triggered, that will either put us at the top or it exceeds our cap and takes us out of the game. But we know that we've put our best foot forward, and there's never a guarantee with an escalation clause that you will win the bid because there are so many parts of the contract. A vendor and an agent are looking over the entire contract. And when they do that, they will pick what is going to be best in the opinion of the vendor. What I love about an escalating offer is that it puts you in a position that you may not have to pay what you were willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't see enough of higher offers around you. Now, can the vendor counter at your highest price? Absolutely, they can. But when we write these offers, we will ask for proof of a higher bona fide offer. And I wouldn't sway from that, because if they're countering you, it's because there's a reason.
Absolutely.
So there may not be another offer if they're not willing to produce that. That's one thing I probably wouldn't sway on. But what we're looking at is that we want to be able to put ourselves in the best position to get the property, but at the lowest price that we can. And that is how an escalation clause helps the buyer. So when it comes to escalation clauses, it doesn't guarantee you anything, but it does put you in the best position, in my opinion, to get the offer if you are willing to pay a lot more than what you think you may have to pay. If you are just hoping you're going to get it because the price isn't that high, I wouldn't write an escalation clause. I'd go in at my offer and I'd go strong at it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally. So yes, also knowing when to use them and when it's just not worth it.
Absolutely.
So that's some incredible insight. And I think too, if you guys are looking to purchase in this market, especially knowing that spring is coming, it is important to make these connections with a real estate advisor now so you can begin to educate yourself on what is to come and how you're going to navigate that process to the best of your ability so that you're not just continuously running on this hamster wheel. We all do it for a little bit, but what are the options and tools available so that we can try to get the outcome that you want?
The escalation clause is one small part of positioning yourself well in a multiple offer situation. There are so many other strategies. And when you work with a professional, an experienced professional, you learn that there is so much more and there is a difference from offer to offer.
Agreed. 1,000%.
So today we were talking about what it is that you need to do to get your house sold, and getting someone in sooner rather than later may save you money and save you some headaches, or make the situation a little less stress.
Absolutely.
Than it can be. And talking about what it is that we can do to position ourselves in this market, and understanding an escalation clause. It can become a complicated clause, but with the right people around you, it's simplified.
Yes.
So we want to thank everyone for tuning in today. And
make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Absolutely. And until next time.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.